Welcome to Game Crunch Game of the Year 2021. With Mike.
Don't listen to his siren song. Do not.
With Brandon.
Oh my god, I forgot.
With Dave.
I love the whatever.
And Nick.
Man, that could have got really bad.
There are many great games, but only one can be the best. Only one can be Game of the Year.
Welcome to Game Crunch Game of the Year 2021, Day 2. We're back today with some more categories for you. Up on the agenda today is Best Re-Release, Remake, Remaster, Best Artistic Approach, and Best Surprise. And with me, just like last episode, we got Brandon, Nick, Dave, and myself to discuss these categories. There are no spoilers this episode, so you're good on that front if that's something that you are trying to avoid. And as always, when we do our Game of the Year categories, there's one overall winner and two runners-up decided by majority rules. So with that said, let's get into it. All right, next category, Best Re-Release, Remake, or Remaster. Ooh, this is a hefty one.
There's so many here.
I had a bunch at the bottom.
I have to ask, did Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 release this year? What
It's
system
on the
did you
list.
play it on?
maybe it was it came out
It was
for
the
another
Switch
console.
this year.
Maybe that's the case. I may have.
I think the Switch version was 20. Yeah, because the game originally came out in 2020.
Okay.
Then it came out
2020
to the
September, and then PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and Nintendo Switch this year. So, what do we want to say about that one?
I mean, we usually let those go in on a technicality.
Okay, let's let it go
You can
in.
fight for it. We'll let
Cool.
it fight.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. So anyways,
A lot.
our nominees.
It's a lot.
Yeah, Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD, Miitopia, ActRaiser Renaissance, Pokemon Shining Diamond, Brilliant Pearl, Mass Effect Legendary Edition, Scott Pilgrim, GTA Trilogy, Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, Myst, and Doki Doki Literature Club Plus.
Maybe that should have gone on the GTA trilogy. Should have gone on the most disappointing list.
That actually probably
Honestly,
should have.
Yeah, I think
Because I
so,
wanted
too.
that game until I saw all the shit that they pulled with it.
Yeah, so that was a joke. We're gonna go ahead and get that one out of the way right now.
Yeah. I can just
Yeah.
read that one right out of there.
Just move it straight to biggest disappointment and put it at number 3. Let it be
There
at
you go.
4. Let it be in there. On a
Honestly,
technicality.
let me see. There's a couple on here I just won't fight for, but I'll just like knock them off the list right away.
Okay.
Pokemon Shining Diamond and Brilliant Pearl. Definitely.
I actually really like it.
Do you want to stay?
Kinda.
Okay.
I've been playing Shining Diamond. It's pretty fun.
It's pretty good.
Okay.
I actually like
discuss
it more than
that.
Sword and Shield, just saying.
Anything.
Well, no, that is understandable. Yeah, we'll leave it up for discussion then.
Mhm.
I was gonna do that. Maybe we do have to talk about all these then.
I think we have to talk about at least most of them.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
going to defend
Maybe-
Miitopia and ActRaiser?
Maybe the only one I wouldn't talk about or defend is the Mass Effect Legendary Edition.
Nope. I will. Absolutely.
Will?
Yeah, it's incredibly good.
Oh, okay.
Incredibly good.
Okay. Everyone buckle up.
You want me to start with that? Because I can go ahead and say my piece about that. Because I
If you want
actually
to.
do think. Oh yeah. So Nick, I think the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is something that flew under a shit ton of people's radars this year when it released, and
Okay.
it's actually a very, very well-made product. It doesn't do like enough that it's like garish and like awful and in your face with the bloom and the look at how pretty this is and da da da. It's just enough so it feels more modernized. You got the higher frame rates on the next gen consoles. You got the higher resolution, textures, this, that, and the other. You got all 3 games in one package plus every single one of their DLCs. They removed the portions of 3 that required the online multiplayer. They removed the online multiplayer. They made it a more standalone product where you get your $60 out of it, or $40 if you bought it for even cheaper. Plus, it comes to Game Pass this year. And on top of all of that, it's just a damn good trilogy in general. And they modernized some of the gameplay systems and in a very good way, so the UI doesn't feel so overcrowded and shitty. It made Mass Effect 1 playable again, so there's that. Yeah, it's just an incredible package overall. If you like Mass Effect, then you would really, really like this game remake.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I mean, it's also on like Origins membership thing, and like I said, it's going to be on the Origin membership that's tied into Game Pass soon. So it's just like, just check it out for yourself. But I think this is one of the better remakes that released this year, in my opinion, because of just the amount of content you get, the quality of the content. I had technical issues on PC, but those issues don't seem to be anywhere else. And in general, after going back and going through that elsewhere, I haven't run into any problems, and I've watched my friend play all the way through it, and he enjoyed it. We had a really good time watching him do his playthrough. It looked very nice, and it's just all around awesome. So there you go.
All right.
I can fight for mine. Like,
Do it.
For it.
Well, okay. Doki Doki Literature Club, great game. I played the original. I did not play the Plus yet. I do want to play the Plus, if nothing else, just to support the creator, because they gave away the original for free. So one of the most best mindfuck games out there, and I think did the whole fourth wall breaking very well. Myst, it's a classic game, right? It's been like 30 years or something old now, and the remake, I got to play that this year. I've not gotten too deep into it, but it looks very high quality. I enjoy it. Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I love those games when they first came out, and the remakes look wonderful. I've not played them, but again, I love the originals, so I'm sure I'd love these. Super Mario 3D World, I played that on the Wii U, and I'm looking forward to playing it with the family, because we just played through Super Mario New whatever Wii U Deluxe, and the kids love that, and so I'm looking forward to playing that with them. So, and the Bowser's Fury whole side edition, I think, is a pretty cool addition to the overall series, and I think it's probably where they're going to go in the future with that whole kind of open world Mario game coming up next. So that's probably going to be the next Mario. I think they're going to do that. Scott Pilgrim actually played that game.
The game's
first
awesome.
Came out on the PlayStation 3, and then they delisted it, but I still had it because I bought it.
Sure did.
And I love that game. I love that show. Love that movie. Great movie. So underrated.
Is it anymore? I think it's become such a highly cult status that it's become more mainstream lately, especially with the re-release of it recently on 4K.
Oh, okay.
To like
well.
streaming
I love
platforms.
it. I saw it in theaters. It was one of the best movie experiences. Like, I was so laughing so hard.
Oh, I agree with you. I think it's a fantastic movie. I'm just saying, I think it's become a lot more mainstream lately, and you just haven't noticed it, especially with the re-releases. It's awesome though. Yeah, definitely.
I know they did something with the cast, like the cast read the script or something.
I think they did that right before the 4K re-release, which was last year, I think. I'm not entirely sure, so I can't really speak on that. But both the game and the movie are excellent, and I like that they're kind of separate things. And it's like, even if you've never seen the movie, you can just enjoy the game.
Yeah. Mass Effect, never played it. I mean, I did play it. I played a little bit of it, but it was one of those games that I just never got into.
That's fair.
Great series. I've heard great things about it. ActRaiser, don't know much about it. Metopia. Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, played that game when it first came out. Back on the Wii. Loved it. I heard the remake made a lot of great life changes, made quality of life changes. So that's great to hear. No desire to replay it, but glad to see that they fix some stuff with it. If I were to pick one on this list, or to vote or back up one, I'd probably back up Scott Pilgrim, because that's the most fun game, and I love the fact that you can have 4 people play it. I've not played the remake, but again, I love the original, so never beat it.
Ooh, it's very
game.
fun. It's very difficult. Yeah, it's basically like a coin a coin eater, and I love that about it.
They did not have to go that hard with that game, but they did.
They did, yeah. They got an excellent sprite artist too to do all the work for it, and
that's why I never beat it. Because I'm I got myself my butt kicked too many times, and the continue system, I think it's pretty brutal. So I just sort of gave up. I need to get back to it. I need to get back on that horse.
I see. So 2 of these games that you just named have been on my Game of the Year list in the past.
Oh, okay, cool.
Doki Doki Literature Club was on my Game of the Year list, and so was Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2,
Nice.
which is an incredible remake. I 100% both games. It was that good. And I guess any chance that I get to be like, yo, they didn't fuck up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2, I'm going to be like, yo, they didn't fuck up Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2.
But they still could. There's time.
I guess you're right. I mean, yeah.
Just be like, hey guys, we got a great new patch for you.
We fucked it
Brand
up.
new music.
I want to play Myst because it has VR now. I think that's probably what makes this re-release so good.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Did not know
Myst
that.
is
Cool.
in VR now. It's awesome.
Is it no longer like just the static images?
Oh yeah,
So
no, it's full 3D.
yeah, it's full 3D.
Oh, okay.
And the VR version's obviously full VR capable and whatnot. So
Well, that's what I was saying, because if it was just like what it was before, I'm like, that'd be kind of boring, and like that'd be just like watching a movie. Like a
no,
3D
it's
movie.
so the VR version from what I've seen is essentially like The Witness.
Okay.
So there's that.
It's kind of a nice upgrade then.
Right?
Mhm.
That's why I really want to play it. I just haven't had the time yet.
All right. Let's talk about some of the things we just kind of glossed over.
Mhm.
Skyward Sword HD. Big thing about this one was it finally added
Non-motion control?
non-motion controls. It's a huge switch for people because you got the option to play both ways. I played a little bit of it both ways,
Mhm.
and I thought it was interesting. I really liked kind of the way that they did it. I thought it was kind of nice. I think it's something they could play around with again if they wanted to go to like a more motion control thing. I love the motion controls of Skyward Sword, but I do understand they are off-putting for some people, and they don't translate like, how do I put this? They work well with the Switch, but the problem is the Switch doesn't have a sensor bar or to recalibrate, so you do have to recalibrate a bit. But if you don't mind that, they work great. So there's that. They also fixed Brandon's girlfriend Fi, so she didn't always talk all the time, which
Nani
was
the
also
fuck?
nice. Huh?
I said Nani the fuck?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So they got that. They got what else did they do for it too? They had that amiibo support that pissed everyone off, except for the people who had the amiibo, and it wasn't even that like big of a deal. So they had that there. There's another feature they added too. What was it? Something about, I know they unlocked the difficulty stuff early. They didn't really add like a ton of new content to this game. So, aside from like the motion controls and some of the quality of life tweaks, I thought it was just a nice upgrade that made this game more playable for a lot of people who did not play it for various reasons back in the day. So that's why that was on there. Metopia was interesting. I thought it was an interesting remake because it's a game that nobody played because it came out too late on the 3DS, where everyone's like, I'm not, because that came out after the Switch. So everyone's like, I'm not going to go play a 3DS game now. But it is literally Tamagotchi life with an RPG skin. So it is just wild and out there. They did add some new content in there. I ended up getting pretty addicted to this game. I remember it was a game that like I felt bad stopping, even though I finished it, just because there's just something like strangely addicting about it. And it's simplicity, but also its complexity. And just the way that this game played story-wise, like everyone's going to have unique experience because you pick the Miis that you want to be in there. And they added that really in-depth Mii creator, and people were making some insane stuff. Like I remember my the one kingdom you got to like pick the Miis for, and made them all like food people. Like the king of the kingdom was Burger King, and then I had like Colonel Sanders and I think Ronald McDonald were like the guards, and I had like Gordon Ramsay in there as like a person. But I mean, that was my experience. But you know, Brandon, if you played it, you could have done like all anime characters.
That's true.
Whatever. And it's just everyone's gonna have like a different experience with it. And I just thought it was like a really unique experience that people missed out on the first time. And I think they did some interesting stuff bringing it back to the Switch, just with like the different capabilities that were there. And they also had the horse, so you could have the horse romance, which was fantastic. So there's that. ActRaiser Renaissance. They had, I thought it was a big surprise because they were like, they announced
best surprise. Best
Yeah.
surprise.
They announced it on a direct, and they're like, out today, and we're like, oh, okay. So, ActRaiser is an excellent game. There really has not been too many attempts to recreate what it has done, even though it is like a cult classic game at this point, because of its mix of like the sim building and the side-scrolling stuff. And they did add a bunch of stuff to this. However, I feel like for people who love the classic, that's where it's going to get mixed responses, because on top of the sim and the side scrolling, they also did add a tower defense part of the game as well, and it kind of uses it as a time crunch to like help make the game longer. I didn't really mind it. Some of the stuff is kind of weird though, just the way that it works and where things spawn and what you can and cannot do with like the building aspect of it. But I thought it was a great way to see this game again. I hope they use it as a template to make another one, because they did some neat stuff with that, and they did add some extra like features on. They added like a whole new level on the end of this game, which I thought was really cool. They had that, and the music's still fucking phenomenal. And we will talk about that again when we get to soundtrack, whenever that is. And then the Pokemon Shining Diamond Pearl. So I thought that I put this on this list originally just because I wanted to fill it out. And people do like it, but people don't like it too. There's a lot of mixed stuff there. Because it is, how do I put this? It is a very, I don't know. The Pokemon Company is like, this is a very true to the original, like, remake, but it's not. It's weird because it rides a very, like, zigzaggy line across, like, original and, like, a remake slash remaster kind of thing, because it's, for some things they're like, oh, it's a remaster, and then for some things they're like, oh no, it's a remake. So you got like weird things like, oh, you're super over leveled for these areas because we added the experience share in but didn't like rebalance the game. But because they're like, oh, we wanted it to be like true to the original, but then you have the experience share in there, so then it's not at that point. But then you also have things like you can access your Pokemon everywhere, which is great, but then you have like just a bunch of different, like, there was something that was like so archaic that I could not believe that they kept it in there. Like, I mean, I was not thrilled to see the random encounters of Pokemon back again. I really thought that was dead, but they brought it back, even though but for some reason they didn't insert. Like, it's not there in the underground area, but it is in the overworld. I don't know. Some things just don't make sense. So I think this is a pretty spotty re-release, remake, remaster. But it does have some like really good qualities to it. Like, I mean, I was happy to play through it again. I don't think it's by any means like a bad game. I just think that they could have done better with it. So, I mean, that's really my only like 2 cents on that. And yeah, I think that kind of covers the games that I put on there. I do also, just to say, I'm disappointed in myself for not putting Mario 3D World on there, because that was actually an excellent remake remaster too. So, but I'm glad to see that
Okay.
Dave put it on there. Yeah. Okay. There you go. Let's throw it up.
Let's throw down.
Well, yeah, we can. I said
Let's
let's
I'm gonna
throw
fucking
down.
ask you
rumble.
something actually,
Let's
Mike,
throw
because
down.
you experienced Doki Doki Literature Club, right?
No, I was going to buy it,
Oh,
and
okay.
then you talked me out of it. So I
Okay.
actually didn't.
Okay.
It was entirely because of you. I was hell bent on buying that game, and you're like, no, don't do it. And I was like, okay.
I was worried that it was gonna get fucked up. Like, I had no idea how they would make it like work, like just in general with the game itself. But yeah, I'm very disappointed now that I was very adamant about the original release and how there was no way this could live up to it, because I've looked into Literature Club Plus. I don't own it, but I've looked into it, and as such, yeah, they did a really good job.
That's what I've heard. But you swayed me from hell bent on buying it to maybe I'll wait.
It's a shame. It's a shame
that
that you actually listened to me for once.
I listened to you a lot.
I'm joking, Mike, okay? I'm joking.
One of my favorite games this year, which is not a 2021 game, which is why it doesn't come up anywhere on these lists, was a recommendation from you, and it was there. This is not a game, or whatever it was. I really enjoyed
shit!
that game.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's probably one of my favorite
There
games.
is no game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
Mm-hmm. So I listened to you.
That's actually really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Also, technically, it released this year on console, so you could have put it on here.
I don't think it did. I think it actually released last year on the Switch.
Really?
Yeah. I'm just double checking right now. But I mean, maybe it released on something else. But
Release date April 14th, 2021, Nintendo Switch.
oh yeah. Oh well, too late.
Yeah, I know. I'm just letting you know. Think about it for your top 10, I guess, if you want.
I guess I could do that. I could throw that in there then. Ooh, I know. That's kind of nice. So, yeah. So, anyways, what do we want to take off of here?
Oh, take off? Oh, shit.
Sometimes it's with a list like this, it's easier to get rid of things than it is to
Mm-hmm.
analyze things.
I don't know enough about ActRaiser or Miitopia. That's one of my stances right now. I don't know enough about either of them, and I didn't hear enough either to make me as interested in any of them, aside from like you, Mike. So that's my only stance on removal, personally, right now. Also,
I mean, I
Myst,
would be the same way. I'd
probably.
take off the ones I don't know anything about, like Miitopia, ActRaiser. I didn't play Pokemon, Mass Effect. I don't know enough about. But again, that's just me not knowing enough about them. But
Mhm.
don't take what I say.
Well, supposedly Mass Effect's coming to Game Pass.
It
That's
is.
what
It is.
Yeah.
It was announced today, actually.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Mhm.
So it has moved past the rumor.
Yeah, it
phase
was
of
announced
this.
today. Yeah.
There's a rumor leaked by Microsoft.
Yeah.
I guess.
The
There's
rumor
that.
come out.
Yeah, I'm okay dropping Miitopia and ActRaiser. I mean, I think both of those games have issues, so it's easy to say that they would not be the best. So that's fine. I also, just for the sake of things, I do kind of think that we should drop Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. So I'm
Yeah,
pretty
it's
sure we
so-
gave it to that game last year, and I feel like that's just
I
disingenuous.
think we did
to give it
too,
again.
and I think I'm being an asshole by doing that as well. But I will say, it's an excellent game. It deserves its win 2 years in a row if it could have had it.
No, we can get rid of it.
So there's that. All right, now we're down to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, we got it down to 7. We only got to take out 4
I
more.
want Mass Effect, I want Scott Pilgrim, and probably Super Mario 3D World Bowser's Fury. Those are my 3 that are like top on this list.
I mean, I definitely could get behind some of those.
Hey, he says as he looks over his Nintendo collection, he's like, only that company's game.
No, Scott Pilgrim, I think, definitely deserves to be on there. That should have probably been like, well, I guess it wouldn't qualify as a surprise for this year because it was announced the year before because it came out at a weird time. But like, I mean, it was a big surprise because it was delisted, and I don't think anyone ever saw it coming back.
No.
So it was nice. It was a nice re-release in that category. And I know a lot of people like that game, and I always see it. It's on sale right now too. I always look at it and like, maybe
It's
now's
so
the time
good.
to buy
It
it.
is very good.
I would highly recommend it, especially if you have someone else you want to play it with. If you don't mind like playing beat 'em ups with someone, it's a lot of fun.
I don't know. Myst sounded interesting because you guys were talking about the whole VR mode.
Yeah, it's super cool. I haven't got to play it though yet personally, so I'm not 100% sure how well it translates. I know it
Mhm.
translated though.
It is a thing that exists.
It is a thing that exists. I have looked at many of videos on it, and it seems really neat. If anyone is interested while in here at seeing a little bit on it, I'm gonna put a little video. It's the first one that pops up. So if anyone wants to just like mute the man talking, but see how it looks in VR, it's pretty sick, honestly.
For Myst?
Yeah.
I'm sure it does. Like I said, it's because I can't imagine that game in VR just because I remember how it was.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow!
Right? They like redid it from the ground up. It's really neat.
Yeah, you would have had to for something like this.
Mm-hmm.
See, like that's really exciting to me. Like that, I think is something worthwhile.
Yeah, I agree completely. I just hadn't experienced it, so I wasn't really sure how to sell this. I do think this deserves to stay on the list. So yeah.
I would keep it on the list.
I guess you can drop Legendary Edition because, like, yeah, it's an upgrade. Yeah, it's modernized. Yeah, it has a higher frame rate and higher resolution, and has all the DLC and all that stuff. But it's not like they specifically changed anything major aside from removing 3's requirement to like do the multiplayer in some aspects of the game. So I mean, yeah.
What did you
More
need
of a
to do
quality of life.
multiplayer for?
To get some of the I thought like some of the endings you needed multiplayer for or something.
I don't remember. I don't remember. I mean, I know I tried the multiplayer at one point. Oh no, because there was that app thing. Remember the app thing?
Yeah.
There was something with that because I remember I had to use the app to get like something for the ending or something, and then but you could also get it in the multiplayer too. I don't remember.
So apparently, your effective military strength bar could be affected by the multiplayer, and several people stated that that was something that you needed to do in order to have like the best endings.
Funny thing is, I wouldn't even remember that now until you said something.
I just looked it up.
No, I know, but I mean, even just saying like this game has
Mhm.
fixes what I would never remember that have even existed in that game.
Yeah, so I feel like something like that is pretty major, but like in the grand scheme of things, looking at these other games here, probably not as major as some of the other ones here.
Yeah, and I'll just say though too, like I bought the Mass Effect trilogy on I don't know, PlayStation 3 or whatever,
Mhm.
and I thought it was fine. Like I did really enjoy what they had there. Like it didn't really
Mhm.
like ruin anything for me having it that way.
Yeah.
So
And I mean, the
Right.
updated version just looks a lot better. They fixed Mass Effect 1, because you probably might remember Mass Effect 1 is damn near unplayable because of how ancient it is gameplay-wise.
It's completely different from the other two games. It is. I wouldn't say damn near unplayable, but it is definitely like ancient. It is not. It's not. It did not hold up as well as it should have. So I agree. I agree with that aspect of it. But I do think that. I mean, I would probably, like I said, I'm still all for ditching Pokemon off this list. I don't think it should be there. I mean, I would. My list right now would probably be Scott Pilgrim, Mario, and Mist as where I would put it.
Sorry, could you say that last bit one more time? What your list was?
It would be Scott Pilgrim, Mario, and Mist.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I'd be cool with that.
Okay.
I concur.
So those are those three, and then
So what do you want to win?
I mean, for me, of the three, the most affinity I have would probably be for Scott Pilgrim. But that's just me.
It's tougher when we get down to this part.
Mm-hmm.
Because Scott Pilgrim, I think, is great, even though I haven't played it, but I just know a lot of people love it, and it just came out, after being delisted, and as a well-loved game. Mario, I think, was a great remake, but I think the bigger leg for this is Bowser's Fury is fucking phenomenal, and I don't even remember what Dave said about it now at this point, but it just really like that. Bowser's Fury alone is just an incredible addition to that package because it's a whole new experience, completely different from the original game.
Yeah, I think between that and Mist, and like looking at the Mist video, that is really something different.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
looking at Bowser's Fury, though, that's also really something different. So it's like two sides of the same coin, basically.
Yeah, and I would even say too, Bowser's Fury is different than any other Mario experience that they've ever put out. Like, it's not even just different than like 3D World. It's different than like because Bowser's Fury is not Odyssey. It's not.
How
Mario
long is
64.
Bowser's Fury?
6 to 10 hours. I want to say.
Really? That's
Yeah.
a decent chunk for a add-on game.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid game, and they did some really neat stuff with it because it's interesting because it's like you're playing like the gameplay. How do I put this? World wise and like how things look and how things are perceived, it plays a lot like 3D World in that aspect, but it's fundamentally changed because it's an open world. You can go anywhere in that world that you can get to, and it's has like different challenges in each one that are kind of more like Mario 64, but they're all available, so you can kind of just like swip and swap as you go through. So, but it's not as like lackadaisical as Odyssey is in terms of like how you get things. So it really is its own unique experience. You have access to like all the different abilities. You can like kind of swap them on the fly. And then there's that whole Bowser's Fury thing where he gets all pissed off and turns gigantic and is trying to destroy everything, which changes the face of the course. And then you can use that time to get certain. Are they shines in this one? Or something, whatever they are.
Cat
shines. Yeah, they're like cat shines or something.
I don't remember what it is.
Yeah.
I think I saw them though before.
Yeah, There's something like that. So like, you can use that. There are some that are only available during that time, so you can use that time to do that, and just hope that Bowser does not kill you, or you can just go and fight him, because there's different like ways that you can battle Bowser. So it becomes really interesting. And then they have that whole. There's a whole different islands that you can traverse to with Bessie, I think is what the little dragon flying thing is called. So, I don't know. I found it to be a really just fun experience. Just as a completely different from any Mario thing you've ever seen before. So, I don't know. I always like with these categories. I always like rewarding the ones that actually like fundamentally add things. Because there are some games where it's great. Just be like, oh yeah, here's a remake of a game I really enjoyed. Like if they stuck out, I don't know, like a fantastic remake of Super Metroid. Be like, oh, I mean, it's.
You mean
nice
Metroid Dread, right?
Yeah, I mean, Metroid Dread was Super Metroid.
Yeah, basically.
Be like, oh, that's cool, but it's like, oh, you didn't add anything though. This is just it's a prettier version of what I've already had. So it's like, I don't know. I said though, Mr. Bowser's Fury would be my votes for number one.
Okay,
I'll vote Bowser's Fury as well.
Yeah, sure.
3D World, I think, was one of my favorites. Honestly, when it originally came out on the Wii U.
Oh yeah.
And like just having it come back for the Switch, like it was great playing through it again.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to playing with my family. So.
Yeah, I'm down for that.
No problem with that pick.
You still haven't played it yet, Dave?
I played it on the Wii U, but not on the Switch. When I sold, I sold my Wii U for when I bought the Switch. So we'll probably get it at some point. I found it online for, like $40, $30-$40. So I'll buy it used or when.
And the nice thing is too, it does like Bowser's Fury has co-op, so you can play through with your son that way.
Too, I plan to get all four of us.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's always fun. And hopefully nobody gets too angry.
My little one will get my 4-year-old, he gets angry at everything. So, although I was able to play with him with the Super Mario Wii U Deluxe, he's like, okay, I'm just gonna go in a bubble. That's his thing. Like, it gets too hard. I'm just in a bubble. I'll do a bubble. I'll be in a bubble if you need me, guys.
It is kind of helpful with that. It is always a nice thing about that. But let's wrap this category up. Best re-release, remake, or remaster goes to Super Mario 3D World plus Bowser's Fury. Runners up, Myst and Scott Pilgrim. All right.
Good choice.
You guys ready to debate some art?
Hell yeah.
All right. Next category. Best artistic approach.
Really
all right.
Brandon always gets bent out of shape about this one. So let's see. So we got Metroid Dread, Inscription, Cruelty Squad, or Psychonauts 2. So best artistic approach. I don't know. This one's always like the weird. The art ones are always the hardest ones. They always are.
All right. I got you. All right. Here we go. There's nothing else on the market like this. Here you go. Check this out. This is why it's on the list. This is Cruelty Squad. Let me introduce you to Cruelty Squad.
This looks exactly like the same game you wanted us to do last year.
No, it's not. Shut up. It was, but it released this year because it was in early access last year. It's released now, so that's long and short of it. I'm trying again. This is Cruelty Squad. Cruelty Squad's a grimy, gritty cyberpunk.
Why is he swinging on anal beads?
That's intestines, my friend.
Oh,
I mean, technically the same thing.
I guess that is the same thing. Yeah, that's true.
So basically, this game is very...
The Lord's anal beads.
This game is very disgusting and looks very disgusting because of the actual gameplay itself, and the artwork is just... It looks like Nightmare Fuel. It looks incredibly bad, but you actually notice when playing this game that the artwork is so bad and jarring that it's done on purpose. And like it's done so everything specifically sticks out and has a purpose for why it's drawn the way it's drawn and designed the way it's designed. And once you realize that, it's kind of amazing. It's really good. It's also a really, really good game because it's Deus Ex, and Deus Ex is really good. So yeah, that's I'm going to fight for this game as often as I can. Once it gets released on consoles, I'll fight for it again.
Wait, no, I'll put it up against GoldenEye 64 next year. We'll let them duke it up for best graphics.
So there's that. And then my other pick that's on here is Inscription, which I just convinced Dave to buy, I guess.
Yeah.
And the reason why I have this under best artistic approach is because, again, a lot like Cruelty Squad, this is very grimy and gritty when you actually look at the art design of it and everything, but it also looks like a board game, and it's got like a lot of dark visuals to it that just kind of look very muddy and like something isn't right. And because it's done that way, it really adds to the narrative aspects of the game. So the art, again, here definitely fits the actual gameplay itself and the game itself. It just feels like nothing is ever quite right. Like you just shouldn't be in this place. And I really dig art that makes you feel uneasy. And like Inscription does a very good job of doing that.
Okay, I don't know. What's it? Psychonauts 2? I don't remember.
The Psychonauts 2 is just a mindfuck. Like, it's really pretty to look at, and it's absolutely a mindfuck. You're every like individual level where you go inside of people's minds and everything is the design based off of their like mental problems and instabilities, and the palettes as well as like the actual stage design and the art of each individual stage is done in a way that shows what these people's traumas are and what like problems they have in general as you're going in to try to solve these issues as a psychonaut. And I think that's really cool and a very imaginative kind of artwork and design to a game. There you go. Okay. Those are my three and all of my reasons for them.
Okay. And then Metroid is the last one on there. Mm-hmm. And Metroid Dread looks great.
Is this the best graphics category, or is this like artistic?
Best artistic approach? Am I going to have to do this for you, Mike? Shit. You want me to do it for Metroid Dread too?
Why don't you sell it? Sell that Metroid Dread, bro.
Right, so the word dread is in the fucking title.
It is.
And anytime you're in the things like line of sight, such as the Emmys in this game, and in like lockdown sectors and that sort of thing, you get the feeling of actual dread.
Oh, that's the name of the game.
Because of the color palettes they tend to use during like the alarm sequences going off and you being chased by the Emmys, and it really adds to the atmosphere of the game as a whole. That's how you sell a game, Mike.
Well
That's
said,
how
Brandon.
you sell the artistic approach.
You got my vote for Metroid. Great job.
You're voting for it, so there's no point. I just wanted to do it better than you did, because that game is actually very pretty, and it does have a very good artistic design to it.
It does. Yeah, it looks really nice. And its ravens look like ravens, and their beaks look like beaks.
They definitely do.
Damn it, Mike. I hate that, like, artistic design matters so much to me, and you always kind of were like, I like color.
Did you guys see that blue? That was a good blue.
Well, I do. I do like blues. I should have shown you the blues that we painted my living room and dining room this year.
Oh, I'd actually like to see that. Show me.
Very, very stylish
blues.
Point. I will.
I'll have to show you because my living room is also blue. I'll have to compare blues.
Oh, yeah. I'm very happy with my blues.
If this wasn't Game of the Year, I'd really want the title just to be called Compare Blues.
Like when you
I know there were so many good titles for this one. I was just thinking, I'm like, it's so disappointing that I feel like some of our best titles for possible episode names come up during the Game of the Year, but we never use them because we just name it Game of the Year.
Yeah.
It's too bad. Too bad.
And my pick is Inscription. Sorry. I really like how dingy and like grimy everything looks, and the atmosphere really permeates it depending on what section of the game you're in, and even though this is a card game, you're able to explore that atmosphere, and it's really interesting as things continue on and you change different settings and whatnot. And I'm still trying to be as vague as possible with this game, but just know, like, between that and some of the other stuff that happens, The artistic design is very important to this game, the narrative as a whole, and it just always gives you that feeling of unease when you're playing it, and it takes something special to be able to do that.
Why does it look like a Game Boy game?
What? Are you looking at Inscription?
I don't know. I just stuck it in Google Images.
Because we got the Game Boy version.
Show me what you're looking at. I literally posted the link in general chat to the game, so you can look at the images and stuff there on the store page.
Well, I'm not looking at the store page. I'm
Yeah,
looking
I
at
got the store page.
the Googles.
Google
it
will be
is a
spoiling
very,
the
like,
game for you.
32
Well,
bit.
should I not
That's the
post this
problem.
image then, Brandon?
I don't know. Send it to me. Like, legitimately, send it to me. It could actually be spoiling the game for you. Oh yeah, that's a major spoiler. Yeah, no, don't post that.
It just came up in the Google. It looks like a Game Boy game. I don't
seems
know what to
like-
tell you.
Yeah, can you look at the actual store page that I linked so you can understand, please?
Brandon.
Dude, listen, I spoke up for Metroid Dread for you because you're awful at it.
You didn't put any store for the thing for
What?
Metroid in here.
What are you talking about? I literally talked about how much dread the actual color palettes add to you when you're playing the game itself and how it actually adds to the experience.
Yeah, but then how come you didn't put any pictures of Metroid Dread up here? Now nobody's gonna know what Metroid looks like.
Bruh, everyone here played Metroid Dread except Dave. Everyone here played Metroid Dread. You, me, Nick, we all played it. I'll be surprised if you guys don't pick Metroid Dread to fight me.
The Game Boy pictures are in this video anyways.
Oh my god, stop it.
They are.
You're looking at the video and not the fucking...
I just told me. You told me look at what they
I
had in the
know,
store.
I know,
Oh,
I
look at
know,
what
I
they
know,
had
I
on the
know,
store,
I
Brandon.
know, I know. I didn't realize they released that video because it's been long enough that they can just be like, yeah, this is... There you go.
Not really a spoiler. It just shows you that they got weird graphics in there. You know? I'm all for Inscription, though. So that's fine. Or Metroid.
I mean, I think all of these have their strengths, so it's whatever you guys want to do.
Yeah, like those very strong heel beads that
Your
they're
description
swinging
sold me on it. I'm all about Metroid Dread. Because I was thinking, like, it's just another Metroid game, but
That is true. It is
they're
not.
doing something
Because
new
it
and
really
different with
does. It sells the dread. Just, the color palette and the way that they chose their blues.
It's quite dreadful.
Yeah. That's quite true.
Like, you're literally repeating what I said. You're just copying my homework and changing a few words.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Don't want to get hit for
Plagiarizing
plagiarism.
him.
I'm sure the professor won't catch you.
No, they just use that robot to check. They'll be like, oh, no, he used different words. Brandon said they chose their aquas, and Mike said chose their blues.
They're azules.
Exactly. Completely different.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So, I like Inscription. Inscription's my pick. That's the long and short of it. Bye-bye.
Okay.
I'll give you my pick after I play Inscription. Just give me a couple hours.
You can literally look at the art style on the page that you purchased it and see the art design.
It's not in motion. And you control the
They got
artwork
that video.
with my hands.
They got the video with the spoilers that Brandon posted.
Son of a bitch.
No,
Shut up,
no
Mike.
spoilers. I'm gonna spoil a game I haven't played yet.
That's what Brandon likes to do.
I
don't
can't
know why.
believe they actually put that video up there. It does spoil so much, and that's actually upsetting.
I didn't listen to it. That makes you feel better.
I mean, you're never going to play it anyway, so...
It might come out on something I'd care about playing it on.
maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'll probably eat my words, but much like another game that we've talked about, I don't know how this would work. Not on PC.
But yeah, so like I said, that's where I am on things. I don't know, Nick. I don't know where your feelings are.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat of like Inscription seems like looks really cool. The blues in Metroid Dread, just wonderful.
Yeah, they're so beautiful, and those Emmys are just adorable. And they come in different colors too, which is great. They got the green Emmy, orange Emmy, the red Emmy.
I would say that my 3 would be Metroid, Inscription, and Cruelty Squad.
Hey, my man.
With Metroid taking the top.
That's 3 for Metroid. So
Yep.
there you go.
There we go. Easy peasy. Goodbye, Psychonauts. Nice to know you. So best artistic approach goes to Metroid Dread. Runners-up Inscription and Cruelty Squad.
Runners up, the actual best artistic approach. Not joking.
And GoldenEye 2, Cruelty Squad, Electric Boogaloo. Next category.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Best surprise.
Yep.
Our nominees are Famicom Detective Club, Metroid Dread, Guardians of the Galaxy, Happy Home Paradise, and Game Builder Garage.
Did I spell it wrong? No, I didn't.
No, you didn't.
I was like, did I? Was that
No,
me?
Mike's just saying weird shit.
I know. Well, I had like a sudden thought today. When I was on my rotations, the preceptor I'm working with, she says antibiotics.
Oh no.
Yeah. And it wasn't just and she says it all the time. So it's the thing. Antibiotics. But anyway, so yeah, Happy Home Paradise.
Okay.
Yeah.
I want to see what Game Builder Garage is. I'm actually very curious about this one.
We talked about it
advocate
actually
for that one.
Eh?
That was my addition. I'd be happy to advocate for it.
Yeah.
Oh, is that's a Switch one, right?
Yeah, that's the Switch game where you build your
Oh.
own as a game maker program. You can build and program your own games. If you look online, like go to YouTube and search for like people who've made games in Game Builder Garage, and it's really
Mhm.
impressive what people are able to do with the tool. And it absolutely is a tool. Like it's much more robust than like your typical build a game type of things. Like it's a full on. You can pretty much program a video game. You're limited by the capabilities of the system, but you know, in terms of what people have been able to put together, it's really impressive. And I gave it to my son, and he was actually able to at least follow along with the tutorials and build his own little levels and stuff like that. You know, following along with the tutorials, he couldn't really do the on his own too well, just because there's a lot of reading and it's pretty high level. But you know, as a way to kind of introduce yourself to the idea of video game design, and as someone like myself, who has always had a desire to make video games, it's a great way to kind of scratch that itch in a very sort of easy and easy to get into, hard to master type way. It's not intimidating at all. It's just really fun. So,
Oh, and you can actually share your games with other people online. I'm seeing.
yeah. If you got a Nintendo
seeing
Switch
people playing
Online
them right now.
membership, then you can play all the games. Now, I wish the system to share and rate and review games was in there, because there isn't. Basically, you just put in a code that you find online somewhere. There's no sharing mechanism. There's no like Reddit. There's no even like Mario Maker type of system to share games, which I think Nintendo really missed an opportunity there. But you can find a lot of forums that post the best games, and you just enter the code in, and you play the game. So I highly recommend it. Of all the ones on this list here, I was definitely surprised. I did not know that game was coming, and when it came out, I was like, "Oh, sweet!"
It was very
video game designer
announcement. Yeah, like they announced it literally like a month before it came out.
Yeah.
And they did the stuff that people make with it is pretty rad.
Yeah, people were like breaking down all the little icons and what did they do, and yeah, it's a very robust system. Like there's so much in it that you can do, and the thing is, that's also to its detriment, because the tutorials don't go over everything. Like they go over probably about 75% of the tool's capabilities, and they leave you to kind of like figure out the rest of it. So it's again, it's I wish I had more time to devote to it, but it was fun to get into it. So that's my vote for Game Builder Garage.
Cool. I'm looking at a few games people have made, and there's some pretty neat stuff here.
Yeah,
Look at
people have made
the
some
Metal Gear
really cool
Solid
stuff.
remake somebody did inside of it. It's very clever the way they use the system to kind of represent that game.
Okay. Oh, someone remade Metroid in it? Oh, the WarioWare Metroid. Okay.
Other things on this list. Famicom Detective Club. That was
Yeah,
a
that
wild
came out of
surprise.
nowhere. That is, especially since it's in English now.
Yeah, because it had been announced for Japan previously, but earlier this year they're like, "Hey guys, we localized this, so it's coming to the US this year. You never played these games before." So, and I think they were a great surprise. I mean, they're old school like text adventure, like Phoenix Wright style, like interactive novel games, and they're a little bit dated in some ways, but I genuinely enjoyed them. I thought the stories were surprisingly refreshing, probably because we've never seen them before. And it was a wonderful package. I remember one thing that I was just so impressed with, and it's just the dumbest thing. But like I was able to recognize like one of the Japanese voice actors from this just based on like the Japanese. And I was like, oh, I know who that guy is. And I don't even watch like a ton of stuff. I'm just recognizing him from another game. So because they went through and apparently they've gotten some really good voice actors for the Japanese recording. But it's well done, it's well animated, it's well designed, and we just had never gotten here before. So it was a really nice surprise. I really hope it opens the door for like something new from this series. Although I'm guessing it probably will. But it was a nice surprise. So Metroid Dread, I think that one like absolutely was a wild surprise because that was just like announced at E3, if you guys remember, and they were just like, "Hey, new 2D Metroid game." And we're just like, what? And then they're like, it's Dread. Remember that game that was leaked? Like 2006? Yeah, we finally finished it. It only took us 14 years. So, yeah, I don't think there's anything more surprising than that. And I think the best part of the surprise was everyone was like, I don't know, is it going to be a good game or is it going to be a bad game? I don't know. I do not know what this will be. And it ended up being a really good game. And it was. Because you got to remember, the last 2D Metroid we had was Fusion. And that game was very handholdy, very linear.
Mm-hmm.
And this game defied all that. It went back to more of like the Super Nintendo route.
Is that the one we had on DS? 3DS.
The Samus
Made by the
Returns?
same people, right?
Yes,
Yeah,
that
Metroid
was
too.
too. And if you remember, Nick was very skeptical about this game because of
It
that.
was. Yeah. That game, while being like a decent representation of Metroid 2, did a lot of things that like made it. They tried to do, I think, too many things into it, especially with the parry mechanic.
The melee system became OP.
Yeah, it just became ridiculous. And what I was concerned about, because I saw in early trailers for Dread that like the parrying thing was going to be a huge thing, especially with the Emmys. And even though I have my complaints about it when the final product did come out, like it still was a huge surprise that we even got a new Metroid game this year, because like obviously Prime 4 was announced so long ago, and then the fact that it got rebooted and restarted from the beginning, so you're like, all right, well, are we going to get a Metroid like ever at all? And like just for it to come out of nowhere and then be like, oh, by the way, it comes out this year, like that was incredible. I think that was my favorite surprise of the year, was just getting a new Metroid out of nowhere and then having it come out.
Yeah, and I think everyone was expecting to, like for the 2D Metroid, I think everyone was, if you had to bet whether or not it would be a new 2D Metroid or a remake, I think if you put out an honest poll at the beginning of this year, people would have guessed it would have been like Super Metroid.
Yeah.
Or Metroid Fusion probably would have gotten the remake, not a brand new Metroid game, especially Metroid Dread, and it just kind of like wrapping up the whole like timeline thing. So, yeah, I mean, I think this was an amazing surprise. This was like a clench your butthole kind of surprise.
100%, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah. All right, that's my 2 cents on the games that I put on there. I don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy and Happy Home Paradise. Who wants to take the reins for those?
I put Happy Home Paradise on here.
Yeah?
Yeah, not my biggest surprise of the year. Obviously, you were just talking about Metroid Dread. But I think that Happy Home Paradise coming out and being a thing was, for me, just a huge surprise in general, because like during the direct that they announced that, they were talking about, hey, this is the last free update for Animal Crossing coming out, and then all of a sudden it was like, boop, here's your first paid DLC, and it was a continuation, or I guess it's not really a sequel, but there was that Happy Home Designer game that was on the 3DS?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I never played that, but having it as an addition to Animal Crossing for the Switch, New Horizons, I thought was really cool. It got me back into the game quite a bit, and I just really enjoyed that it was a thing and kind of added more to the game. Whether or not I agree with the pricing, that's a whole other can of worms to open up.
I mean, honestly, I think the pricing on its own,
that was a surprise.
If you took it, but I don't think that was unrealistic, because it was like, what, $30, I think, on its own. Like, it's a decent amount of content for what you're getting. If you're not counting, if you're looking at it completely separately from the expansion pack.
Yes.
Like, I probably would have been like, oh, okay, I'll do that. I mean, I enjoyed Animal Crossing. I enjoyed what I have played of Happy Home Paradise so far in retrospect, that I probably would have justified the price. But, like, yeah, I mean, that was a whole other thing. But I do agree, because that that 2.0 like direct was like it was pretty intense before they even got to this point.
Yes.
And then they're like, here's a whole other game that we're giving you.
Well, yeah, and what I really liked about that, it was like, hey, here's all this new shit we're giving you in the update, and then it's like, all right, cool, I guess I get to use some of this, and it's like, nah, guess what, bitch, you get to use all of it because here's what we got for you. Mm-hmm. And like I said, it was a nice surprise, and I was happy that we got like more content for the game. So
yeah, and I think too, like some other just, and you're right because it does like they add all this stuff in the 2.0 update, and I feel exactly the same because I was like, oh, these are cool things, but I'm like, I already did my house. I'm not going to redo my house again. But like I said, the genius part of Happy Home Paradise is like you can fuck up other people's houses instead. So it's like you can do whatever you want. You want to do some crazy shit? You got it. It's not your house. You're not ruining it. Mm-hmm. Some virtual animal is going to be disappointed with this shitty house you built them. But at least you got to try new things and you get new things from it. So that's pretty cool. So... And I really enjoyed that they gave you the facilities to build too. I think that's like my favorite part of Happy Home Paradise.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, yeah. No, I do agree with you. That was a nice surprise because it came out of nowhere, like absolutely nowhere. Like we were all like, "Can you just add anything to Animal Crossing?" And they're like, "Yeah, here's a whole other huge expansion. Here you go."
I'm so sorry.
Please continue. Go for it.
I was just going to say, I put Guardians of the Galaxy on here, and I've already talked about it in some of our other categories. But I think that it was just such a big surprise because I had no expectations for this game. I was so sick of hearing about this game before it released. And when I actually sat down and gave the game a try, I was just blown away by how much quality and actual care was put into the game as a whole. And it really surprised me in that respect, and I thought that was something that would make it worth being put on this list. Personally, I think Guardians of the Galaxy is more of a surprise than almost anything on here, other than the Famicom Detective Club, just because like Square Enix fucked up real bad with Avengers, and then we got this game, and it's a fucking banger. Like everything about it is fantastic, and there's so much care put into it. And you can actually tell that the developers gave a damn this time around. And as such, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is something to sell you on watching Marvel movies or going and getting Disney Plus. It feels like, oh, this is its own thing, and it's something you can experience, and then you can just be like, that was really good, I'm done. And I didn't have to read the comics. I didn't have to watch the Marvel movies. I didn't have to do any of that shit. It stood alone on its own, and it what happened to be a property that was already in existence. But I didn't need to know any of the years and years and years and years of content, or even, the more recent years content, like the Marvel movies, to actually give a damn about this game, because it does such a good job introducing everyone in the game itself.
All right. There we are.
There we are. So I think for me, the three would be Metroid, Guardians, and Happy Home Paradise. With Metroid being my number one pick. Guardians, I will say, I'm not surprised that Square and I think it was Eidos made the game in general, because I think isn't there like they announced like a contract with Square and Marvel about making like.
Honestly, I'm not 100% sure, but like, weren't they also the ones that made Avengers, and then it was just shit?
Crystal Dynamics made Avengers.
Crystal Dynamics. Okay, thank you very much for that.
Yes,
thank
Crystal
you for that
Dynamics
correction.
Made Avengers. Well, so
I guess it's just because I saw this Square, and I was like,
you're not wrong, because Crystal Dynamics works exclusively with Square. So I wasn't expecting that game to be good. That Marvel's Avengers game, and it was shit. And what's funny is a lot of the times when people talk about like there's like the discussion between, especially with Crystal Dynamics, I don't know why it's like that studio in specific. In times of them working on Tomb Raider and then working on Marvel's Avengers, like they always talk
reboots.
So we did.
Yeah.
However, Square did not. Square did not like them at all. And which was weird because they got three.
They're also the people that made the Deus Ex reboots, right?
Correct, and Hitman.
Yeah, they made really good games.
So
Hitman 3 is fantastic too. Sorry.
So the thing was, is like, I feel like there's like a lot of like weird history with like Square Enix and their development partners, and I think what I was expecting, not so much from, especially from the trailers too, that were first showed off for Guardians of the Galaxy. I wasn't expecting it to be a good or even playable game. Really, I was expecting to get like this subpar kind of like bullshit ass game, and unfortunately, their marketing department just really dropped the ball on that one. And it ended up being good, which was a surprise. But I would say that what surprises me the most this year was the fact that we got a new entry into the Metroid series after, what was it, almost 20 years, 19 years?
That's fair.
And, like, yeah, so that's my thing. It was what most shocked me and surprised me because, like, obviously them being so radio silent on Metroid Prime 4 in recent years.
Yeah.
And Nintendo kind of just not giving a shit about anything else but Zelda. And like Breath of the Wild 2 and that shit coming out. Like, I wasn't expecting a new Metroid at all.
And I guess from my point of view, just to back up my thing one more time before we go about and find out what everyone wants. Another reason, like going from your point of view of like, you weren't expecting to get a new Metroid thing after so long. I wasn't expecting such a fast turnaround on a good Marvel game, especially after the dog shit that we got last year. And then they completely abandoned it. And then they were just like, oh, by the way, Guardians of the Galaxy. And then the marketing for every single Square Enix stream was just as hard hitting of there's Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd watch an Xbox conference. There's Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd watch a PlayStation conference. There's Guardians of the Galaxy, I'd watch a Switch conference. There's Guardians of the Galaxy. I didn't give a fuck about this game by time it actually released because they did the same thing of oversaturating it in the like advertising space as they did with Marvel's Avengers. And I was expecting the exact same outcome. But it's really fucking good, and that's what surprised me so much. So there you go.
I think my counterpoint to that would be, but on the flip side, Metroid Dread nailed both the introduction and the actual like release, whereas Guardians of the Galaxy like totally fucked up its introduction.
Wouldn't that make it more of a surprise if it totally fucked up its introduction and then was a really fucking good game in the long run?
No, I was surprised twice with Metroid Dread. I
get it. You just want to put Metroid Dread in as many things as humanly possible, and that's fine. But like, it's kind of getting old. But that's okay.
Oh, don't worry, Brandon. It will come up so many more times.
Oh, I'm absolutely positive of it. I don't even care to fight it at this point. There's no point.
It's also going to be the most anticipated upcoming game.
Metroid Dread?
If you could find some way to do that, I would actually be impressed. Yeah, my vote is Guardians with Famicom and Metroid Dread runner up, and your is Dread and Nick is Dread. So there's that.
I mean, Game Builder Garage was a nice surprise too.
That's true. Honestly, I think Famicom Detective Squad is a better surprise than Metroid Dread because they fucking actually, translated that. And that's like a, 25-year-old game? 30-year-old game?
At least. Because it was the first one was an NES game.
It's pretty ridiculous, yes.
Yeah. I mean, that one I would say, like, in terms of surprise, would somewhat go up there with, like, Earthbound Beginnings.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we've been sitting on this. I mean, in this case, they actually bothered to localize it. In that case, they're like, hey, we've been sitting on this localization for 30 years. We've decided we finally will release it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. But I mean, I'm on board with Famicom Detective Club being on there. I'm definitely on there with Metroid Dread being on there, as I said. I'm really not opposed to any game on this list, honestly. Which makes it a great category and a bad category. What'd you say?
I said, what wins then?
I don't know. Everything wins.
The real category with the friends we made along the
way. Maybe that will be the Mad Lib category. Nobody knows. But I feel like we really need Dave's 2 cents before we can wrap this up.
Yeah, I'm all about that. Let's go Metroid.
Okay. What did you guys...
There we go.
What did we want for the other runner-up, though? That's what I don't remember.
Famicom Detective Club and Guardians of the Galaxy? Question mark?
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah, I mean, okay. Were you not here for my entire speech about the whole thing?
No, I was.
Okay.
I think
Well,
that's
what do you want
I'm
then?
you said Guardians of the Galaxy question mark, so then I said it like a
Oh,
question.
okay. I get it
I'm just
now.
trying to be
Okay.
funny.
Okay. I was
Inside
so
joke.
confused. I was like, this is
No, I'm just
really
kidding.
not a.
No, you did a great job selling it. That's why I bought it.
That is true.
Give you a commission.
There you go.
All right, I'm okay with those. That's what we want to. Anyone? Any objections?
No, I'm good.
Going once, going twice.
Oh.
Sold Guardian of the Galaxy.
Hmm?
The best prize goes to Metroid Dread with the runners up Famicom Detective Club and Guardians of the Galaxy.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
Yeah. Thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, game-crunch.com. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook, Twitter. Send us email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Dave, where can people find you?
You can find me at aroundthelens.com. Go learn about visual journalism.
There you go.
Mm-hmm. Brandon, any
Hey, how
final
you
thoughts?
doing? Yeah, just some of the games I mentioned. Please look into them. Those people definitely deserve more attention, especially in the indie scene.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always down to give indie developers their due. So I guess that's all. There you go.
All right. Nick?
I got nothing.
All right. And me? I am Clash Penguin on Twitter, your favorite gaming console. Until next week, game on.
Game. For that, I posted in the general chat the official specs for the PSVR 2.
And when you click it, it just says Snake. This page doesn't exist.
Oh, I don't know why.
Is that really what it says?
Yeah, they killed it.
They didn't. It just came out because it's CES today.
Oh, I know. I mean, like they've killed the page. They put it up because my friend posted it in another chat as well, and now it doesn't exist. The blog page doesn't. It won't load anymore.
Oh man.
Did it say anything good?
It's single cable.
That's good.
Oh yeah, it just loaded for me. Let me see if I can repaste it in here and see if this works. I pasted it from mobile, so I don't know if that. There we go. That might work actually. Has eye tracking. It's sensor.
The first game for it is Horizon.
It is.
It's neat.
Which one?
It's a new Horizon.
Zero
game.
Dawn?
No, it's not Zero Dawn. They made a completely new one.
Oh, okay, cool.
With fire sprite. 120 hertz display, 90 hertz and 120 hertz display on the panel. FOV is 110 degrees. Vibration on headset. That's interesting.
That is interesting. That's different.
It's connected via one USB Type-C.
It seems that's what most people are going to nowadays.
The controllers have haptic feedback and all that fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's adjustable. It's an OLED screen. Eye tracking. New sensory features. PSVR 2 Sense Tech combines eye tracking, headset feedback, 3D audio, and the PSVR 2 Sense controller to create an incredibly deep feeling of immersion.
Okay.
So I guess it has built-in 3D audio in the headset as well.
That's pretty neat.
Has inside-out tracking, so your PSVR 2 tracks your controller through integrated cameras. Good, it should. No need for an external camera. Hell yeah. The display resolution is 2000 by 2040 per eye. 4K HDR. Nice. So they will, depending on how much this thing costs, they will sell me on one thing and one thing only.
What's that?
If I can use it with the PC.
I mean, they'd be smart to make it so good.
Yeah, that is
But will they?
That will be the highest fidelity VR headset on the market.
I'm actually interested in PSVR 2 now because, like, single cable setup. Fuck yeah. Give me that. Give me that.
Good. If it works with all the games they've been giving people for free on PlayStation Plus, that'd be the thing right there. Because like they've been filling the VR space on PS Plus with really good games. Like Walking Dead, Saints and Sinners. I know Dave talked about that and was like kind of down on it, but I actually am very excited for that one. They gave away Until You Fall, which is a very, very good game. They gave away Paper Beast, and they gave away a lot of good shit. So yeah,